This is your stage, your spotlight. Hello, Meghalaya. Your story starts here.
Hapadeng ke jing persang ke sorkar jela ban rating kong ya ke jing jelai ke jing pang AIDS. Haka arpusan tarik ujelio Hajar arpusan ke Dr. Ampareen lingdo ke menteri ke tenat ke koi ke khia ke lepentip bagani ke jing pang ke jelai bah Meghalaya bar ki don kumba shipo Hajar ngot ki bri ki ba im bat uknyang HIV. Ya kene ke Dr. Ampareen ke lepentip hadian ke jing pelat pat bat ya ke wei ke kali ki nong trai ke Meghalaya State Network of Positive People MSNP Plus ke balapen long ha office ke Meghalaya AIDS Control Society ke Max Shillong. Abakran sekilat patai kubur ke Dr. Ampareen kelaong benapdeng ki sipo Hajar ngot ki don kendai Hajar saus pa arpoi ngot ki besak Sumar nyos pa prapusan ngot ki bom tere ai jing Sumar bat lais pa kendai pon riu ngot ki bala klat no. Kumta ka kentu ya ki brio ki badan ya ke jingpang bakim de ban syak tieng ni ban ri no Henry ki de ban lai ai jing Sumar khnang ba ka sarkar ru kan sala ban ai jing rap ya ki.
On behalf of the government of Meghalaya and the Honourable Speaker of the Meghalaya Legislative Assembly, we would like to take some necessary steps so that we may be able to attend to the slowly consuming situation of HIV/AIDS in the state of Meghalaya. I have had several interactions with people from various organizations, particularly the MSNP, and I have patiently listened to some of the suggestions that you gave me in the earlier meetings that I've had with you. The action that we take today is a culmination of my interaction with you, where you yourselves have presented some of your biggest worries and problems that you face while helping the state to redress this very serious developing numbers of people infected by HIV positive. We do not wish to isolate people living with HIV/AIDS. This is not the intention of our government. But as we review the data and we see some very telling tales, we are forced to take some action to reduce the growing numbers of people living with HIV/AIDS. We respect your ability to be different from others in your attempt to come forward and help government come up with the best practice that will attend to the problem of the growing numbers of HIV positive. Over and above the fact that we wish to give you the assurance that you are not alone and you will not walk alone and you will not suffer alone. We need to be honest and we need to come forward with practices wherein community walks hand in hand with people living with HIV/AIDS. Government agencies walk hand in hand with you, and other organizations, civil society members in the community who wish to come forward are also welcomed. I was just having an internal review of the approach of utilizations of funds that we receive from Government of India agencies as well as Government of Meghalaya incentives. I think it's time now that we review some of these normal practices that seem not to work all these years. So we are thinking that if a group or a sports organization or an institution comes forward asking for funds in support of some of their activities with a promise to talk about HIV/AIDS in our attempt to spread awareness on HIV/AIDS, we will also have designated patterns and obligations of such groups. You will receive from us a fund, but you need to work closely with groups like the MSNP so that you know what you're doing and you know the problem you have to deal with. You cannot work in isolation. You need to work with your memberships. You need to map certain areas. You need to go for door-to-door awareness programs. You need to engage with institutions in localities around you. And you need to utilize these funds with that big target in mind. Break down the complexities of understanding of HIV/AIDS and related issues in the community. Government will only design policies that should be implementable, policies that should be workable, and policies that include communities, because HIV/AIDS is something which is generically linked to communities. You cannot take this problem away from the community. So henceforth, I have requested the MAC to utilize its funding legitimately, with a purpose, with a target in mind, and with a utilization submission that includes dealing with the problem. Any organization coming to MACs henceforth should be willing to undergo training, exposure, and should be tasked with targeted intervention activities. I hope I have made myself clear. It is one thing to give you a vehicle, but it's another thing to manage that vehicle for you. I would like a proper plan to be submitted to MAC as to how you will manage this vehicle. I believe that if government works together with the community, HIV/AIDS will be an issue that will not become such a problem. We also believe that in our redressal of drug and drug addiction and its related issues and agendas, we need to also link all of these together on the same page so that we know that one is related to the other. The problem of commercial sex working is not a problem of the community for isolation and shame. We cannot participate in any activity which involves shaming people involved in a certain profession or trade. How best can we be of use to these targeted groups, and how best can we link all of the issues of HIV/AIDS together is what we need to now put our heads together and design and come up with programs and activities that are doable, workable and sustainable. So I'm happy now that we are here in the same room with the bureaucracy of the health department, the members of the society of MAC, representatives of NACO, and bureaucracy from the government who will take this forward. This is just a small stepping stone on the part of the Honorable Speaker. You had said that you have the vehicle and that treatment of HIV/AIDS is now having difficult gaps because of your inability to reach and discuss concerted treatments which cannot be abandoned. We are now giving you this tool. What is a vehicle? It's just a tool for you. What are you going to do with that tool? And how can we make this tool work for a longer period of time? If there is a breakdown, and you do not attend that breakdown because of lack of funding, then that problem in that vehicle begins to multiply, and you soon see that in 2 years' time, your vehicle will get condemned. We don't want that to happen because we've been through this road again and again. So today, sincerely thanking the Honourable Speaker for his generous contribution in the action to be taken against HIV/AIDS and drug addiction. I hope that this will be a step that will bring out more actions to be taken, identifications of these actions to be taken, and how best can we deal with this problem, which is no longer somebody else's problem. It is all our problem. Problem is that most members of the society say it's not my problem, but let me tell you, it is your problem. Everybody in the community has to participate. You can't wash your hands and expect only people living with HIV/AIDS are responsible for curing others. Not true. This is a movement which has to come from the people, by the people, because the people need it. We'll give it a sense of direction and we'll see how far we go. And in 6 months, I would like to be briefed. What are the positives that have come out with this vehicle now being made at your disposal? I wish to see that a small step taken by the Honourable Chief Minister of the Legislative Assembly can be a result that will have multiple meanings and changes in our communities.
Habatien, page bahagi kishab, kashab plus F.
Ka plus F?
Hakabam bangibam, dunaki eki bataya kamet. Namar kata, habathiru atau kau kamlu ka umpnyang kadut, page ya kashab plus F hakajingsom. Yaki nutrient kumki vitamin bat ka iron la ikan diat bada ka batau bha kam kata ika dur jingki marbam ka jing mat lani ka rukom shed yaki balehi banai kita kadon ka we ka jing mentoy ba kongsan ka kot ka kia ka nutrition ba khambha ka jing im ba khambha pendon kam daki marbam madon ka sharp plus F menta ka sni
Lawan Ra Shafi Lingba ko office jong Commissionerate of Food Safety Meghalaya